Hello, hello, everybody. This is AJay. Wait, hold on. I got all my new bells and whistles that I'm playing around with, so let's kick this. There we go. Hey, folks, this is AJay the CEO. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for joining me with Q&A with AJay that we try and do every Friday. I've missed y'all. Last week we had to play for a funeral. Then the next day after that, September 5th, was my birthday, so I just unplugged. I know a bunch of y'all have been sending me emails, and like I said, sometimes you just got to take a break. So that's what that was about. Thank y'all so much for the people who sent me birthday wishes, comments, all this other good stuff. Really, really appreciate it. Let me do a sound check real quick. I know. All right, good. Sounded fine. Thank y'all so much. Everybody in the chat, hello. Let's go through and holler at everybody real quick. Anthony, always the first on here. JK Visual Media, 111 Crisis, The Real UCV, Jiro JP, Clyde Floyd, the Chuck Taylor, Philippe Games, Coach Sarah's was saying working today and is going to catch us later. We appreciate that, Coach. Don't want to get you in trouble at work. John, hello. And you know what? Hold on, let me make sure. Enoch Daniel, hello. Bobby G33, hello. Branson White, hello. Kurt, thank you so much. Josh is in the house. Hello. Streets of Destiny, Phoenix, Arizona. John Cook. And there we go. So let's go ahead and cycle back. Thank y'all again so much for all the love and appreciation. And I'm going to go backwards a little bit. Bobby is asking me, and let's go ahead and send this up here. Bobby wants to know, what software am I using? This is vMix. I have been playing around with this for a minute, and actually it helped that my computer actually died, my live streaming system, so I had to rebuild it, and I didn't have anything, all of my OBS settings and stuff like that were not backed up. So highly recommend that you back your stuff up, export everything under your profile and under your scenes, just in case. I learned the hard way. I normally do that, but I hadn't done it in a while, as well as the same thing with vMix. So that is what I am using right now, and I did a whole bunch of videos this week. You only saw one because all the rest of them got messed up in between where my computer crashed, and the videos came out wrong, the audio was messed up, all that stuff. So that's how it is. Let me go back here. John is saying, am I familiar with Wirecast? I'm using Wirecast in my church setup. Also, I have Pro Intensity 4K. That's what I'm using right now. I'm in my computer. If I get an ATEM, I don't need the Intensity PCI card. You don't, but I still use mine. I use the HDMI out that goes to that, and then I use the USB goes into the system I'm using right now. And I did kind of a behind the scenes before this started to our Facebook group. So if you're a member of that, you can always go and see my background. I mean, it all depends what your setup is. I don't want to say what's a right or wrong way, because honestly, do you need it? No, you don't. You can get away with everything with just the ATEM Mini or the Pro, whichever one that you are using. But if you already have it, you can still leverage it. Like, that's what I'm using. That's the reason why I still use mine that way, because the system is capable of using it. Can I live stream with my setup? Yes, I can. I just do it a different way. Just because I already have everything set up the way I want it to, and I like the ATEM Mini Pro, but I can't do all this fun, fancy stuff like you're seeing just with the ATEM Mini. So that's it. Let me go backwards here. Let me make sure I get other comments that I might have missed. No, that was the first question, I think. You know what? Let me not beat around the bush. Let me change up something real quick. I have some very, very exciting news. If y'all were a part of the Facebook media group, I actually already talked about that. And let me just announce it. So for our 30,000 subscriber, believe it, can you believe that? At the beginning of the year, we were at 1,000, and we're getting ready to hit 30,000. I want to thank y'all so much for that. But as I told y'all, every time we hit a new milestone, we want to do a giveaway. I want to do a giveaway to show my appreciation for y'all and help other ministries and everything like that. But we had somebody contact me, and we have a sponsor for this giveaway, and they are Ada Imaging is going to sponsor our giveaway, and the same overhead camera that I reviewed, they are going to be giving that camera away to one lucky person to help contribute to this giveaway, which I am beyond thankful for. Really exciting about all of that. More details are coming. I just wanted to wet y'all's whistle with that. We're going to have a form. Because of YouTube and because of policy changes is on Facebook, there's certain things we can and can't do. Pretty much we want to show them some love. I hope y'all can read between the lines what I'm saying. We want to, like them, support them, subscribe to their channel as a thank you, because they didn't have to do this. And they liked the fact that I was already promoting their products because I used them. And so, believe it or not, they were watching. So they reached out and said they wanted to help us get to 30,000, and they also wanted to throw a camera in as a gift to whoever we pick for that giveaway. So more details are coming about that. Thank you so much, Ada Imaging, for that, with awesome more details coming. We also still have the giveaway that we're doing. One ATEM Mini I'm giving away on my own dime. No one is sponsoring this. Giving away to one lucky person for every month for the rest of the year. Here is number one here, still wrapped, hasn't been touched. It actually just came in the mail yesterday. So to get a part of that, go to, and I don't have this on my link. That's the one I didn't set up. You're going to go to, let me put it in the chat here. And that is growajhomes.com/ATEM-mini. Make sure you register there in the link that's in the chat. So you want to do that. And this is, again, a way of me giving back to y'all, because 30,000 was so far beyond. My goal was to hit 5,000 this year, and we've blown past that. And I want to give back as much as I possibly can to y'all. So thank you so much for that. So now let's get back to the questions here. Anthony was saying, have the R800. I'm trying to connect my Rode Wireless Go to it. I turned the camera's volume off, but wasn't able to get the volume from the Wireless Go. Is there a step I'm missing? Anthony, I'm using the same thing with the Rode Wireless. You need to put it on the lowest volume setting, because this thing is a beast. So here, the setting right here, and I can't pull the other one here. Well, actually, maybe try the overhead. Maybe you can see it. On this one, I have the volume on the very bottom setting on here, and I don't want to pull this loose because it's more than loud enough. So on your camera, what you need to do is set it, not that the volume is off. You want to turn it to auto volume. Auto adjustment of the volume is off, and then put the volume at maybe -10, -20, something like that, and you need to just play with the recording to see how you're heard. That's it. You don't want the audio completely off, because then it's not going to read anything. So mine is at the lowest setting, and then I just go from there. And let me clip this back on, because I'm known to stand up and drop my Rode Wireless all over the place. Oh, and I'm sorry, I skipped one person. Jero, JP, can we use the Canon 600D DSLR camera for live streaming using the ATEM Mini? Yes, you can. If it has an HDMI out, a clean HDMI out, yes, you can. I don't have access to that camera, but if you do have a HDMI out, and it can provide a clean output, then yes, you can connect it to there. I actually, and sorry if that got loud, I just turned my fan on because it's hot. Let me turn it down some. Yes, you can, but again, like I said, I don't have access to that camera, so I can't give you a 100% answer, but my Nikon D5 5300 is old and it works. So you should be good to go. Brayson White, do you have any suggestions for a cheaper lighting setup for a mid-sized church? Unfortunately, no. That is one of the things that one of the kryptonite at my church right now. We need better lighting. We just have the fluorescent bulbs in the ceiling, and we need better lights, but that also needs to cater to my pastor's desire to have aesthetics a certain way in the church. So I've seen at other churches I've worked at where they have lighting all the way in the back, but you need some very powerful lights to be able to cut through all the way to the front. But the layout at my church, it will probably be better to have rigging for the lights being right at the stage and they're pointing down. But our ceilings are around like 50 feet, 35 to 50 feet height, depending where they're at. So we need some serious work to do that. And honestly, we need better projectors before we do lighting. That's where we're at. So unfortunately, can't help you with that one because I'm still in that boat myself. All right, we got JK Visual Media. Please tell me OBS recording is more than times encoder overload. The faster setting, faster is showing. I might be missing something on that one. Let me cut over here and open up OBS on my system, and I'm actually working on a project for somebody. So let me clean this up here for a second. Now let's switch over here. Now you're talking about your settings. So in here, recording, let me show you mine. Output, me personally, I'm going with my NVIDIA RTX 2070. That's what I'm using for encoding and recording. I use simple. I do not use advanced on mine. And then I have mine as a large file just because I have the storage space for it. I don't know. I need a little bit more detail. Are you using advanced mode? If so, might have to go through something else for that one. I thought I had something else on here. Oh, yeah, I think it was. Yeah, anyway. So I need some more details on that one to give you some help with that. Streets of Destiny giving me some info I didn't know about, saying, hello from Phoenix, restream notice. By the end of September, Google will only support streaming via the YouTube events channel option. Do you know what's this about? Unfortunately, no. This is the first time I've seen that. I'm gonna have to read up on that one. I have not heard of that one. You caught me for a new one right there. See, that's the thing. So much stuff is changing. It's kind of hard to keep up with everything. But hey, Kirk Richburg, what is going on? Some folks from hometown here chiming in. Daniel is saying, thank you. And yes, my daughter is in first grade, finishing our first week of first grade. And it is doing all virtual learning is interesting, to say the least. Let's go to Gareth. Wants to know, how did I make my intro video? My intro was done from a template that I got from videohive.net. I got a lot of my stuff from there, and I ultimately ended up buying the Elements Envato plan, which is download as much as you want, and it's for a yearly subscription. But this one-off intro was like a online broadcasting package. That's what I used that for. 111 Crisis, what could be the cause for unclear video recordings? It could be your bit rate. It could be that your computer is choking on trying to handle it. It could be a couple of things. I would probably say make sure you check your resolution on what's coming in, your frame rate. I'm leaning more towards that your system might not be able to keep up with it, but that's kind of a broad question, so it could be a bunch of things there. Greg would like to know, How do you integrate questions from your stream into your live stream? Is this through vMix? Yes, it is. This is using the vMix social app that's pulling from the stream and bringing it in. That's the reason why I've moved to this, because I used to have a screen to the side of the chat and it was making it hard to see. And then I've had so many people ask me about doing videos for vMix. This is why I don't really talk about anything unless I'm using it. So I'm trying to get myself acclimated to it, and the easiest way for me, just like I learned DaVinci Resolve, is to throw myself in it, and this is what I have to use. So that's what I'm doing with this. And once I get more things up to date, you will start seeing some videos of me breaking down some of these things. And the first two videos, first one or the second one, is going to be about the social tool to bring stuff in like this, because I'm looking at moving my church to this just so I can bring in comments, more interactive stuff like that. So hope that helps. We have a question here. Sorry, I don't even want to even try and pronounce your name wrong, but is there a budget-friendly video mixer aside from the A10 Mini Pro? With the functions of the Pro, I would say possibly. I have another company that reached out to me that I can't really talk about yet. They're supposed to be sending me something that may solve that question, but again, like I just said, I don't talk about anything if I haven't used it, so I'm not going to suggest something blindly to y'all. But something is coming around to work on something like that. Oasis of Hope Chicago in vMix, and my chat just jumped over. There are two options to enter audio delay in settings and when you enter a video. Which should you use? It all depends. It all depends. Where are you noticing the delay? Is it delay like from your camera, or is it a delay that's going out? Meaning, is it delay over everything that's going on in vMix, or is the delay coming from from one source? Like me, I have all my audio always coming from one thing. I don't bring audio from anything, even though this camera in front of me has audio. This camera has audio, but I'm not using it. I always bring my audio through my mixer, so I'm just syncing my video with that. It all depends. I need some more information about that one. Daniel would like to know that he uses the Roland V1 HD. I've worked with one of those as well for streaming for our church. The last couple of weeks, it stopped displaying pictures. Any idea on how to get it working? Now, I haven't had any issues with that. I know from I've only used Blackmagic stuff, and I've helped the church with the Roland. The first thing, because I know our ATEM started acting up, but that was because it was overheating, and it started selectively shutting stuff down. And that would be the first thing I would just ask: is it properly? Does it have enough area or moving air to ventilate it? Is anything blocking it so that it can having difficulty breathing or cooling itself off? I would think about something like that. But circle back with me, and that's where this comment came into place. I would say if you and let me jump to that so y'all can see that. Some of the questions y'all have had, I'm putting my email up here. If you have any questions or I'm asking, I need some more information, please email me here. So, because some of the stuff I can't answer, I need some more details, but I want to help you as best as I can. But please circle back with me so I can help you with that. And my chat is jumping, so I didn't skip y'all on purpose. It just jumped and I missed you. So let's go back here. John Cook, what is the best way to live stream service from outside? I am not sure if our Wi-Fi signal would reach outdoors. Have you had any success using a phone as a hotspot? Yes, I have. My other channel, Formation Sports, where we were streaming high school events, Little League, things like that, most of the time I was using my phone. I have Verizon Unlimited Business, and literally it's unlimited For the most part, it's unlimited. But I've streamed a ton of games just off my phone, and it's been perfectly fine. Now, when I've been out in the sticks, really far out, that has been a problem. But I have been able to stream successfully an entire 2.5 hour long football game and a seasonal game, championship games, 7 games in one day off of just my phone. It's been perfectly fine. You could do range extenders or something like that. I don't know how far away you are. Like that was the video that I did that didn't come out right. I added a new access point at my church, and technically, Ethernet can go 300 feet. You can get one of those, run a long Ethernet cable outside, and then you can put your access point to your churches right there when you need it to. That may work better than your hotspot if you don't have that option. But yes, I have used my phone and it has worked for me. And my stuff is jumping all over the place. So let me see where we're at. Man, I'm missing some serious questions here because I thought I got these. Let's see. Philippe Games. Trying to get good audio for my live stream. Should I make a matrix and route my left and right mix? And should I mirror it to my live stream? I have an M32 and my mix now is on my output 11 and 12 on post. Well, I cheat. Like I don't have the manpower at my church to add a specific stream. If I had it to do again, I would want a specific mix for my live stream to where I can add more and things like that. So ideally, you want to have a mix for the house and you want another mix specifically for your live stream. Normally, they would not be the same. I'm running the same just because I haven't had an option to change what I'm doing on my board. So it's kind of hard for me to say that and give you suggestions off of that. I'm just pulling a left and right mix. That's what I'm using, and it's mirrored the exact same thing that's going to our live stream. If I had it to do again, I would make a specific different mix just for the live stream. That's just me. Hope that helps. I know that's kind of sounds kind of out there, but it's kind of hard to give a suggestion without me. I don't like suggesting something if don't have the exact same setup, or I haven't at least visited you to hear what it sounds like. So that's about it. Sorry about that. Now let me see. I wish I can lock the output that's coming from vMix to see where y'all comments are. It keeps jumping. So that's why I'm missing certain comments. So this is page 3. We're on page 2. I answered that one, answered that one, answered that one, answered that one, and that one. All right, cool. I got a lot of people asking stuff like this. So look, I understand. Like I said, I know the excitement is there. That's why I wanted to bless y'all as much as I possibly can. Hey, if I had the income like Mr. Beast right now, I wouldn't mind buying like 100,000 of these and giving them away. I'm not there yet, but we will get there soon. So I understand people are excited, but unfortunately, comments and words will not sway me in anybody's direction. It's mainly let the odds be ever in your favor. It can go to almost anybody. So that's it. Ghost mode, why vMix today? Like I said, I've had a lot of people ask me to do videos on vMix, and I'm cutting my teeth on vMix so that I can talk from a level of I know what it is instead of just guessing. That's why I always say any hardware or software I recommend, I use it myself or have used it myself. That's why. So that way, whenever I talk to y'all or do tutorials, it's coming from I've actually used that. That's why. And it makes it a lot easier for pulling up comments and stuff like that. Let's see. Again, Kurt, thank you. He is from my hometown. Old friend from high school, his wife, grew up together. Thank you so much, man, for reaching out. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be in Lynchburg on Sunday, so been trying to catch up with y'all too, so hit me up. Okay, and Streets of Destiny was saying Restream is going that way too. Yeah, got some other stuff in the pipeline with Restream. I'm waiting to hear back from them as well too. Brandon, do you think the new RTX 3090 is overkill for a live stream setup? Yes, it's beyond overkill, I would think, but it depends. I would get, like, I am looking to upgrade to NVIDIA's new graphics card. I'm looking more towards the 3080 for performance for video editing. I think this is overkill for live streaming. So like right now, I have a 2070 in the computer that's right in front of me because I do that for video editing. My live streaming system that's supporting this right now, that is running at 1660 right now. And before that, it was running just a Ryzen 5 3400. Then before that, it was a Ryzen 3 3200. That's the one I always recommend. I've been using that for a long time and I've just recently upgraded. So I don't think it's a bad purchase if you're going to be using it with other stuff. But honestly, that 3090, you're not even going to come close to hitting its usage for your live stream. But hey, if you got it, go for it. Me personally, I'm thinking about going with the 3080 just because of the boost in performance, and at the price, you'll get better performance with that than the 2080 Ti, which is still going for like $1,200, $1,400. Delta East Store continued live streaming to Facebook drops throughout. I don't know if you, I know I didn't miss an entry. I need some more info from that. Let me know the full statement so I know what you're talking about. Otis, hello from Texas. Another person, one of our e-missionaries from the Facebook media group, which I highly recommend y'all join if you haven't. Great. It's almost like this nonstop that you can drop questions and people can help there left and right. Got another question here. We are using OBS on an HP, going back and forth from changing frame rate speeds. I don't think that's frame rate, but I think that's more like bit rate. 1250 to 1100 on ultra fast to prevent frame freezing and encoder overload message. What's your thoughts? If you're getting encoder overload, it means that if you're using software or hardware encoding, it cannot keep up. The easiest thing to do is add like a dedicated graphics card. Like I was saying, like in my system, the processor is more than fast enough to handle the live stream, but I still don't even use the processor for that. I use the graphics card to handle the encoding. That's what that means. Anytime you have an encoder overload, it's whatever your hardware can't handle the settings that you got, or your settings are too high. And to be quite honest, the 1250 to 1100, that's really low. So I'm really thinking that your hardware can't keep up. Even, like I said, the GTX 1650 you can get for about $140 would be able to help with that encoder overload. I haven't hit anywhere close to that, and sometimes I have my bit rate up to 10,000 and works flawlessly. So I think that's a hardware thing for you. Are you presently controlling your church stage lighting with MIDI software, and if so, what software are you using? Well, I'll tell you one thing. You know how I'm controlling the lighting at my church? The on and off switch at the back. We have no software, no lighting controls, no nothing. That is something that I'm trying to get outside of replacing our projectors. That's the next thing that I want to do. But if y'all are in church and y'all are dealing with fundage and stuff like that, you understand sometimes there's some red tape you have to go through. So I can't answer that one because we're working on that. Kurt wants to know, I've upgraded just to, on vMix, I've upgraded and I'm honestly just using the vMix HD. I was using basic. I upgraded to HD, so I'm not using Pro or 4K. Wanted to know, did we get the spire taken care of? Yes, it did. A while ago, during the summer, a storm knocked the steeple off of our church, and it's been repaired and been replaced. Maybe about a month and a half ago, finally got it up. So thank you for checking that. I've been meaning to get down there and record some other video, but I've been so busy. My drone has not been flown in like 5 months, so I need to get out there and get some new videos and stuff like that. Enoch, we are upgrading our church setup. And since I'm looking this way, let me switch to this camera. We are upgrading our church setup with the Altos and Allen Heath QU16 along with the ATEM Mini Pro and Panasonic camera. Any thoughts on the QU16? Honestly, I haven't used that one. I need to look that up. And see, I think this is the fun thing about this. This is more like boys with toys type of stuff. So that's a lot. Like most of my setup has gotten to the point where at the time when everybody was talking, these were the things that a lot of people wanted to know about. So that's what my main setup is. But man, y'all are trying to push me to get some major stuff here. So I'm gonna have to look that one up for you, Enoch. I'm not too familiar with that. But let's see, the Allen Heath QU16. That board looks familiar. The QU16. Actually, I know somebody, it was a church I work with that had this board. I think it's pretty good. From the little time that I've actually worked with it, let's see here, this board right here, and let's see, so you got plenty of outs, USB out. You should be able to capture audio that way, but see, you have a track out right there that you could use. I don't know what the interface is, if that's just network or does it send something else. It looks like a good board based off of what I'm seeing, but again, I have not actually used it, so take that with a grain of salt. But let me know how that turns out. I like to, I'm always trying to learn some new stuff as well too, because I'm sure these questions will come around as well too. Brandon wants to know, how do you export OBS settings? Very simple. Let me cut over here and we can show you how you do it. So inside of OBS over here, we just got to come over here to, well, it's two ways. You can come out here to your profile. Your profile can actually save all your settings, your keys, and wherever you're streaming to. You can export those, or your scene collections. You just export and you just pick the one that you want to export, and that's it. Very straightforward. Hope that helps. All right, let's go to our next question. He wants to know, can you do the text box and picture showing up on the screen like yours in Streamlabs? Yes, you can. I don't, I'm sure on Streamlabs there was some pre-made type of titles that you can do something like this, I'm sure. I don't know if it can connect to whoever's chatting this way. I'm sure somebody has written something to do that. I just don't know off the top of my head anything like that. M&S Notary, thank you for joining us. Otis has an answer, because Otis at his church, they use vMix, and he says audio delay should be in your audio input inside vMix unless you're using audio input from cameras. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. I don't pull audio from my cameras, I just do it from one source. So thank you for that. And Anthony kind of gave an answer. This is why I like this group, the Facebook group. This is an extension. We get answers from everybody because we have so many churches, ministries that we're impacting that are all over the world. You'll be surprised. somebody's probably doing something with the exact same equipment that you got. But Anthony's saying to John's question that they run the Ethernet outside last Sunday to stream for their church service. So it is doable. And we got some more comments here, and it pushed yours back. So we're on page 1 now. Oasis of Hope. We use the Zoom F6 under USB into vMix or a Rode NTG. Both good options. Yeah, you should be able to use. Now, I mean, with the Zoom, what do you have connected to the Zoom? Do you have other mics connected to that, or you have that just recording? Because the Zoom can record as well too. But are you using that as a mic as well? Need a little bit more info on that one. Anthony, I'm telling you, man, you should know this. I'm just giving y'all a heads up. He said you paid $30 for a 300-foot Ethernet cable. Go to Amazon. This is what I use all the time. You might have seen it in pictures all over the place. I don't have any spare cable in front of me, but I buy a box of 1,000-foot Cat6 cable you can get for $70. You just got to learn how to crimp the cable, which is very simple if you get pass-through connectors, because the colors line up. They show you what color it needs to be. You push it all the way through, so there's no way you can mess it up. Then crimp it, and it cuts the wires off. So just let y'all know, for a 1,000 feet of cable that you just have to terminate the ends so you can make as many cables as you want, is only $75 on Amazon, and I'll see if I can post a link to that. But yeah, but Anthony, excellent. It's so many skills that from us in media you have to work on. You talking about we're being sound engineers, videographers, IT professionals, teachers. I mean, it's so much stuff that we do. Lighting engineers, or what we used to call it in school, drapery engineers, people that just open and close the curtain, something like that as well too. But a lot of stuff. So if I haven't told y'all, I always do this. If y'all are in y'all's media ministry and stuff like that, hey, if no one's told you, I appreciate what you're doing, because being in the battle with y'all, this is not always easy. So I just hope to make y'all's journey there, or your questions, try and get those answered for you to help you out, because I understand how it was trying to go at this stuff by myself and trying to figure all this stuff out. It was wild. Chuck also has some input on that. Airmesh makes Wi-Fi extenders for farms. Our church bought one. Those extends the Wi-Fi to the parking lot and then covers the entire campus. Thank you. Excellent. Let's see. Some more answers here. Ripper Nicholas says that you can create a bus for your live stream and take the outs from the USB. Cool. We got some other people asking questions to each other in here. M&S No Tree wants to know, how did you do the Ethernet from your outside? I definitely need help with this area. Okay. I mean, for that, I mean, Anthony, you can answer that or not. Like with me, we kind of got a similar setup. So like right here is my network. I could run a connection from here and just run it out, or that's my modem on top, but I have a router right above here. You can just run another cable from that downstairs. I don't know how your stuff is set up, if you got a jack downstairs, but Ethernet can go 300 feet before it needs to be repeated. So that's pretty long. So you should be able to run something like that. Or like I said, look at my other video about how to add a unified access point. You could run one of those and put an access point, and now you have Wi-Fi. Or you can put a switch on the other end. Something like this, and then you run the Ethernet in, and now you have all these jacks can be hooked up to other computers there. So your ATEM Mini can plug into this, because the ATEM does not do Wi-Fi. Your laptops, anything like that, that's always a good option. So we have follow up on the last question on live streaming mix and house mix. What do you mean by you would prefer a separate mix? I would prefer a separate mix just because for me, No one in the house needs to hear the ambient noise of the people in the house. I would want to add that for the people in the live stream so that they can hear the interactions of everybody. That's one thing that I would do for a separate mix that we're not doing right now, because our congregation and the people in the sanctuary are not mic'd. So we don't have that, that interaction. You just hear the choir, the band, and whoever's preaching. That's all you hear. You only hear anybody else if they're really, really, really loud. And we don't hear that because we have maybe 20 people in our sanctuary that can hold 500. But I've always wanted to add that anyway to just have a better reaction to that. Alexander, I am on the road to Chicago. Well, safe travels there. Be safe on that road. Let's see what else. If I am using a capture card with my hardware streaming device, would I still need to use OBS or a streaming encoder with the capture card? What streaming hardware device are you using? Normally if you have a streaming hardware device that will handle everything and you don't need OBS, I like OBS because you can do, or vMix, because you can do stuff like this, like these graphics and stuff like that. I don't know what hardware encoder you have. I don't know if they give you like a graphics engine so that you can do other stuff. That's why I still use OBS or vMix paired with my ATEM Mini, because I can't do all this fancy stuff on the ATEM without some external device going into it. That's just me. Let's see. Would you recommend the Canon XA40 for my church? 2 of that, and then Blackmagic ATEM Mini. Cool. Yeah, that would work. That would work really great. The Canon XA line are great cameras. I was looking at the XA10 originally when we were doing our setup, but that was outside of our budget, so we went for the G20s that we still use and are great cameras. Back to Delta eStore, they were saying their live stream to Facebook via OBS and Facebook was constantly dropping. Now, that could be 2 things. That could be Facebook, but that could also be your system. See, at the bottom bar in OBS, you will have something here that tells you, like, and it's not showing right now because I'm not streaming, but it would say frames dropped. Let me know when you try this again, what's the number showing up here? Is it showing up fine here? If it's like that, it could just be that it's an issue on Facebook, or it could be an issue with your internet. Normally it would show something. We need to, process of elimination, recognize, is it Facebook, is it your internet, or is it your network locally, and then is it your computer? We need to try and find out which one of those that is. Shane here. Remember the $15 capture card? Yes, you were impressed with its initial video, but did I miss a final assessment after running it for a time? Do you still think it's a good buy? Yes, I think it is. I've had a lot of people that bought those things after. I look at Amazon, my reporting from that, because those are our affiliate codes. I've seen at least 5 of those things sold every day. And people are really happy. Some people said they've even got it for $9. I haven't used it because when I hooked it up to my Ryzen, Tosh, it burnt out. And I found out that is because of my Ryzen. The USB drivers are messed up on that system on one of the ports, and it fried it. I've had other people that have been using it for months and they're happy with it. So at $20 and less, I would honestly have one just as a backup, just because of how cheap it is compared to a $200 capture card. And I mean, it works. I mean, you can't get 60 frames a second, you can get 30 frames, but I mean, for $20, you can't beat that. And even if it dies, it's $20. It's not $200 that you've burnt out. So Shane, I would honestly say, and I really need to order another one, but right now I have 4 capture devices. So for me, I don't really need one, but I almost might buy one just for my church as a backup. But yeah, I think they're great. I really do. Philippe here says, I also am having encoder overloading with my laptop. I would honestly see in your settings, if you're getting overload, if we come back over here under settings and then output, What is your encoder? Most likely, if it's software, you are using the CPU to handle that. And you need a very good CPU to handle running your entire system and your live stream. That's why I always recommend do a graphics card, because the graphics card, unless you're playing games at the same time, is just sitting there not doing anything, and this can handle your live stream and it's not impacting your CPU. So if you have encoder overload, it's because your hardware can't handle what you're sending to it, or the settings are too high. Streets of Destiny, could you provide an overview for OBS profile, scene collection, and sources? Sure. So if we go back over here in OBS, you have a profile. So right now my profile is untitled. So I did an Instagram profile when we were doing a video on Yellow Duck. That's what this is set to. So my profile changes to my output as well as what I'm using to stream to. That is what your profile is tied to. So if I come back and change back to untitled, see my canvas size has changed back to 1920 by 1080, and then my streaming method has gone back to Vimeo. Your profile sets up all your settings for your program. So like at my church, I have a profile for the church, and then when I happen to be at church and I'm live streaming, I have one for me that is pointing to all of my settings from my YouTube, from my Facebook, stuff like that. So it makes it easy to change that stuff that way. We also have one called Funeral that we recently did when we were live streaming a funeral, so that we switched to that too, and it switches over to Vimeo, and it's a private account that we stream that, and that's for families only. That makes it really easy to do here instead of having to go into your settings and change your stream keys and all this other stuff. Your profile will set up everything that goes into your settings of OBS. Your scene collections are a bunch of these. So you can have scene collections that are universal to your profile. Your profile just handles your settings of OBS and where it's streaming to, but you can have multiple scene collections. So I have one when I did the Nature Conservatory. I ran a live stream for them, and my stuff is in the way. I had one for them, so I had everything set up for running that show. So I had everything set up here, and the images and everything like that are missing because I deleted them. So all of this was set up for that scene. Now, if I go to my Bible trivia, when I ran Bible trivia at church, I had this set up. So the scene was set up for that. And then I can change my profile to whatever. As you can see, I still have the same scene collection and sources, but the profile, the layout of the program, how I'm going to stream, everything like that changes. All right. And then your scene collection, you can have multiple sources inside of your scenes. So this whole thing down here is the scene collection of Bible trivia. Or if I go to Media Ministry 2, that just happens to be called it, this is the bundle that I use, that I sell. That's what this one is. But I can still change this to go to my Instagram profile, and it changes that way. So hopefully that makes sense for y'all. And again, for the people who are asking, a bunch of people are asked, how do I put the questions up? That is with, and I don't have it plugged in. Give me a second. I'm going to plug in this other system here. Hopefully it doesn't bomb out what I'm getting ready to do. Yeah. Give it a second. All right. Let me duplicate this screen here. All right, so my screen is duplicated, and for those who are asking, this is how I'm doing the questions and everything here. So this is vMix that's running my stuff right now. This little thing right here is social. This is what's capturing all of my comments that's coming from YouTube. As you can see, 112. And that's where it's engaging this scene, which happens to be this one right here. And that's how these questions and stuff like that comes up. That's how these comments are coming over. So another feature of vMix that I like, that's the reason why we went over to that. Question here. Any idea why there is no sound in Premiere Pro during editing? For instance, I start to edit, everything works fine, sound and video, close the project, and when I come back, no sound, only video. I don't know. Which, is this the latest version of Premiere? I'm not a big Premiere fan or user. I have access to it. I don't know if Augustine is in the chat. He uses Premiere a lot. But let me circle back with that one. I'm wondering if it's, I mean, honestly, even though I use their stuff, Adobe stuff is very, very buggy. It's like, even I use After Effects and it crashes like crazy sometimes, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know off the top of my head on that one. Let's do that here. Oasis of Hope. Yeah, I think a lot of people might have answered that. There are two options to enter audio delay in settings, and when you enter a video, which should you use? Follow-up question. Oh, did I miss this? I thought we used the, okay, I'm sorry, I got you. We used the Zoom F3 under USB input into, yes, okay. Yeah, let me circle back with that. Sam, is there an easy way to delete set scenes and sources? Because I find it tells me it already exists. Yeah, it's because, Sam, in OBS, I think the recent one doesn't do this as much. Excuse me, my back. You can't have your sources and scenes have the same name. So if you do one that says Tives as the scene, the main scene, and then you have another source called Tives, that won't work. They need to have different names. I think that's what you're talking about. At least that was my experience. Otis, we are thinking of having a parking lot service in the fall once this Texas weather goes below 70 degrees using fiber from SFP port to a Unify switch. Okay, that can work. I did that at Good Shepherd where we run our stuff downstairs. That should be more than fast enough. There. Connect Community Church. Still struggling with audio in OBS. Sometimes getting an echo when trying to monitor what's going out in the stream. Any good resources or tutorials on audio input in outputs and monitoring? Okay, for this one, the reason why you're most likely getting an echo is because you're probably also capturing your desktop audio in your settings. So like if I cut back over here to OBS, if I cut back over here, as you can see, my audio is coming from my A10 Mini. That's the only source I'm bringing in audio. But most likely in settings, if I had desktop audio enabled, now I'm getting two inputs, all right? Now, when you want to monitor your sound, hit the wrong one. When you want to monitor your sound and you do output, see, now I got to mute this. And see, now what you're doing is because you're capturing your desktop audio, when you monitor it, the monitoring of your capture is also being played a second time from your desktop audio. That's where you're getting your echo from. So if you want to monitor this, you need to have desktop audio under your sources, or mainly under your devices, you need to have it off. So now when you monitor it, you're only going to hear it once and it's not being captured twice in your stream. So hopefully that helps. Um, and I think like, and Otis was saying this, like we have having issues on Sundays. We talked about this actually. Randy or Ricky or Rick Watson, I forgot who it was from Facebook. I know his first name starts with an R. I'm gonna remember it, correct it if I'm wrong. But he actually said, if you're having any issues on Facebook, literally what you need to do is start your stream at an off time. Because if you start your stream at 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, almost everybody, at least here in the United States, is starting at that time, and their systems are getting hammered. So one of the easiest things to do is just start your stream maybe 5, 3, 7, 15 minutes early off of that main time, and you're missing the rush of everybody connecting at the same time. Our live stream, we always start at 9:40. And we have a countdown until 10 o'clock. And that's how we've never really had any connection issues, because almost no one is starting, or very few are starting at that time compared to everybody starting on a main time. So if you're not doing that, try and just, you can download my free countdown timer on my website at ajhomes.com and set up a timer, start it 5 minutes early, 7 minutes early, and see if you're still noticing connection issues if you are getting something like that. Michael Graham is saying that he is also currently using a $15 capture card. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Richard is offering an answer to the question we have. Another option for outside is the Hololand Mars 400S wireless HDMI transmitter receiver. I've tested it with a church and it works amazingly well, and they use it every week outside. Awesome. Recently I got the Mars T1000, which is just a communication system, and that system is awesome. So if they offer a wireless transmitter, I'm sure that it will work great. I'm very happy with the Hololand products. Let's see. Streets of Destiny, you're welcome. Anthony was saying, I'd like to purchase a green screen. How do I get the backgrounds for it? Honestly, backgrounds, I just download a picture I like. Honestly, that's all I'm doing. Like the blurry picture I used to have in the background, that was just a image I found of a blurry background, or like in Photoshop or GIMP or any photo editor, just blur it. Excuse me, I just put it right behind me. That's all I really did. Bradley, follow-up question for encoder overload. How do you set it to the graphics card? Well, honestly, it will show up as an option if you have the latest drivers and your graphics card supports it. If you're in the NVIDIA line, if you're using the older cards that uses the GT name, the GTX are the cards that have encoding built in. If you go into OBS and it's not there, first update your drivers from NVIDIA or AMD or even Intel. I don't think the Intel ones are going to help you that much, but update AMD's drivers as well as NVIDIA's drivers depending on your graphics card with OBS closed, and normally that installs it, and you should have an option. If you don't have it, AMD, I know you can download, just search OBS AMD encoder, and it will download one that you can install and give you an option in OBS. If you've done all of that, then most likely the graphics card does not support it. So you need something that is a GTX or higher. GTX is the name. So that would be like the 1050 and up. I don't know of any of the newer ones. There were no RT cards. So they were just like the 2060 and they were RTX. That would have worked. And anything on the AMD side from the RX 550 and up would work. That's the main thing. Once you have that, it will be listed as an option. Hampton Conway, what do you suggest as a baseline specs needed for a laptop to stream events? Honestly, you need, similar to that, I would recommend, if you're going Intel, you need an i7 or better, at least 4 cores or more, aiming for at least 3 gigahertz, 16 gigs of memory, and a dedicated graphics card. So most likely in your laptops, it will probably be, I wouldn't go anything lower than a GTX 1650. Anything higher than that is great. And then AMD, you want at least a RX 570 or higher. And that would work for you if you're going the laptop route. Billy, thanks for the help. Our church would like to get 2 PTZs, one A10 Mini, and audio from the audio console. Is that okay, or do we need to add a Stream Deck? No, you don't need a Stream Deck. The Stream Deck is mainly just meant to make stuff run easier. So all the buttons you've been seeing me press have been here. So when I'm bringing up y'all's comments, my Stream Deck is just so I don't have to interact with the program. So if I want to pull up my lower third here, I just press this and it does this instead of me having to reach over and do the scene. Or if I bring up this, that's the image. All of this is being done from here, and I can press the buttons from here. That's why I do this with the Stream Deck. The Stream Deck has nothing to do with your setup, Billy. It just makes this easier. So you can program the Stream Deck to do everything so that you don't have to be messing with OBS, vMix, or whatever. Like I did that at my church. I just set it up to where it's only 6 buttons. Starting soon, live, offering, be right back, ending, go live, stop. That's all I have with mine, and that's what I have the Stream Deck at my church set for. But go back to your question. No, you do not need a Stream Deck for that setup, but I would invest in getting one down the road if you want to make your setup as simple as possible. Let's see, Sam, the settings stuff with profiles, etc. Would you be able to stick that in the Facebook post, please? Yeah, I would do that on the Facebook group if you'd like. Anthony wants to know, can your Zoom call be recorded and then streamed to OBS? Yes, because it's just a video. And you just do that just like a pre-recorded video, and that would work. All right, now we got people talking about football here. I'm not going to post that. Otis and Chuck. So Anthony's saying that they start at 10:30. Now, if you're experiencing that, it might be people are doing that time. I would still start maybe 5 or 10 minutes earlier than that and just have announcements or something going on, and that would make that work. All right, thank y'all who have been posting there. So Sam was saying, I like to get rid of the scenes and sources, but I can't see a total delete rather than just from scene. Honestly, all you have to do is highlight them all, and you should be able to hit delete, and it should work that way. At least that's how it worked for me. God's Kingdom family, how to boost audio in OBS. What do you mean? You can crank the audio up, but I need to know how your audio is coming in. You can do a filter on that, and you can boost the audio if needed. So if I cut back over here, let me turn this off. If I cut back over here, what you could do is right click on your source, go to filters, and now you have audio filters, and then you could add gain, or you can add a compressor or something like that to boost it if you need it. That's what you could do inside of there. But it also depends on how you're bringing it in. I mean, you could be boosting the source before it even comes to OBS, so it doesn't necessarily have to be done with that. Patrick wants to know, any thoughts on the YOLO box? Yeah, I've seen it. I think it's kind of overpriced compared to some of the other offerings, but it looks good. I would love for them to send me one. I have no reason to buy one. Most of the hardware I got is because either I'm interested in buying it for myself personally or I have a client. So no one has asked me specifically for it, or nobody from Yellow Box has reached out to me to review it from a church standpoint. But from what I've seen, it looks cool. And I think Shane is talking about that. He said that he just received his, currently having some issues with the SD card reader. I like this replacing an entire computer. And that's what I like about that. There's a lot of things that you don't have to do, but you know, that's how it goes. Now let's go back to God's Kingdom Family Ministries. Our last Sunday service was very low. How do I increase the volume, whether in OBS or soundboard? Yeah, I would honestly try and, now let me ask you, from your soundboard, how are you connecting that into your computer? Is it going directly into your computer? Is it going through like an audio cable? Is it going through over USB? Do you have your soundboard connected to your camera? Then the camera is coming into it. In the easiest terms of that, I would boost the sound from the soundboard as much as you possibly can if you're doing a separate interface. Depending on your input that's coming into the computer, how it's coming in. If you're coming in on line in or a mic, you can boost that input signal for Windows for that. That's another way you can boost it. Or like I was just showing, you can add a boost filter on the input. You can do it that way. Those are about 3 to 4 options. And you just have to pick whichever one that you're comfortable with. Any one of them will work. But again, since I'm not physically there, it's just going to be trial and error which one that you prefer to use for that. Chuck, here's a question. I'm using Worship Extreme for lower thirds and scripture using Chroma Key and our AJay Mini Pro. They want to put a verse on a monitor screen in church, doable as full screen. Chuck, yes it is. Yes it is. There is, and I don't think it's still in beta. Worship Extreme has added input, a new addition here, and let me turn this off so I can show you. So in Worship Extreme, they have a new update. I think it's the full version. Let me make sure I'm not still in beta. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good here. All right, so here, I don't know if I showed too much info, but anyway, in the new settings here, they actually have done scene configuration. So now you can add different screens. So Chuck, based off of what you're saying, you can come in here now and set a monitor, and this is what me playing around with it. You can set your main output, which can be full screen, and then you can do another output, which is a lower third, which is a green screen, not show background, and then do a different layout. The only thing with this, they're still not supporting NDI yet. You need to have a physical display for each one. Physical output. So your video card needs to be, for however many displays you want to do out, you need to have that many outputs on Worship Extreme. So you can have your main out, which takes up full screen. Then you can send a live stream. This is what I was testing. Have a solid green background and send it as a lower third into your system for like the AJay Mini or something like that to erase it. And that's how you can do it. So that, check out the latest update. I think they did push that, so that is available now. Billy, you are welcome. That's what we're here to do, try and help. And then Richard has a suggestion as well too. He says that they use 2 PTZ cameras, PTZ optics, in vMix. Another benefit of vMix, has it built in and runs very well. Oh, and I meant to show this to y'all as well too. Did I not set it up? So I've been promising this, and this is another thing that I do like about vMix. So I have my iPad here, and I think this is the right button. No, I don't have it. Hold on. There we go. So now this lets me do my NDI camera on my iPad natively inside of vMix. I didn't have to install anything. NDI was already there, and it just works. So that was another thing that, again, me transitioning to vMix, I like OBS, still use OBS. I like the fact that vMix has a lot of features built into where we had to do plugins for in OBS. Which again, not hating on it, just like it. Because again, I like that option because to have all the features, like right now, the basic version of vMix only allows you to have 4 inputs. That's what I was using for a long time, and that was $60. I had to upgrade to the HD version, which was $350 to have all these inputs. And again, I understand that might be out of budget. Honestly, at $350, I would probably put that money into the AJay Mini and then just still use OBS. It's your choice. Let's see. Sweet Rest Church wants to know, have you had a problem with the AJay Mini Pro freezing in OBS? It's connected USB-C to USB-C to a laptop. No, I have not had that issue at all. Not sure about that one. Jack Wolf, how will you announce the giveaway winner? Will it be live stream, and how long would the winner have to confirm to you? Okay, this is one of the known issues that we've had before when I've done live streams. So I'm doing a giveaway. So what's going to happen is, now, Jack, I was going to say which giveaway, but it's kind of the same rules are going to be applied for both. For everybody who is entered, the people who are patrons, their names are entered twice into a database. I pull people's names, and I run an algorithm to randomly pull somebody. I am going to do a live stream, but because we have people internationally all over the place, what I'm going to do is you have 16 hours. If you are not in that live stream when I announce it, you have 16 hours to respond back to me. If you don't, we're going to do another live stream, and then we're going to pick somebody else. And actually, no, I'm going to actually pick 6 people at the very beginning. Y'all won't see the other people, but I will go through it that way, and then I will just cycle back. But you know what? Let me just leave it up to y'all. How much time do you think I should wait? Should I wait? Do it instantly, or is it, because I think it's kind of unfair since I'm on the East Coast. Where I'm at, some people might be asleep. I want to make it even for everybody. And I didn't realize I've been going for an hour and a half. Time has been having fun. Well, I promise y'all I need to make up for the time anyway, so that's cool. But that's what I'm planning on doing, is maybe picking somebody. I will announce that in a live stream. I'm going to keep the live stream open for maybe about like 20 minutes to 30 minutes, something like that. And this is for the monthly giveaway of the AJay Mini. That's how I'm going to do that. And then I will contact them by email as well too when I pick them. If I have not heard back from them in 16 hours, I will pick somebody else. And we'll rinse and repeat until we find somebody. Now for the giveaway that's going for our 30,000, I will most likely have a countdown for that one in a video, and we will still pick the exact same way. But because we need to register people's names and stuff like that, and we're going to have the rules and all this other stuff, because this is a sponsored partnership with them, since they're going to be with Ada Imaging, since they're going to be providing this, we need to collect more information, and we need to do some user agreements and all this other good stuff like that. So it's going to be a little bit more formal, but we will do a live stream. I'll probably do a countdown like we did with 10,000, something like that. Make it big, have some fun. So be on the lookout for that. Back to God's Kingdom family. If it's over USB, you should still have input the exact same way in your computer to where you can boost the signal for the USB, because it will show up as an audio device. You can do that in Windows or the Mac, boost it there before it goes to your system. I would try that one first. And you are welcome. All right, let's see. Y'all are all welcome. So the question is, PTZ optics or the Canon G50? Which one would you recommend? Well, it depends on what you're going to use it for. For me, I would go with the PTZ optics because we have, ooh, excuse me, because we have enough portable cameras. I'm always trying to have multiple functions of our cameras. So if I went with the G50, it would be because I want something for our live stream, but I can take it down and use it for announcements, do it for going outside the building, something like that. If you don't need that, if it was me, based off of what I currently have in my church, I would go with the PTZ optics because I'm trying to move to a true PTZ at my setup. That's me. Yvonne, how do you set up the AJay Mini Pro output to show on the screens of a church? We are using live stream producer. Honestly, I would just run the HDMI out into like a splitter or an extender, convert it over to SDI, whichever one, and then connect it that way. But it all depends. Do you need the multi-view? Like right now, I'm using the HDMI out, but if I hit the multi-view, now you're seeing this. I don't need this since I have the app on one of my other screens in front of me. So I don't need that. If you don't need that output, you can just straight go out from HDMI, convert it over if you're running long distance or something like that. That's up to you. Jaren, I believe. Nah, we ain't doing that. We do our stuff legit. But I know, I do understand that, change your name. But I mean, I guess, yeah, you could do that because it does a reset for every 60 days. But honestly, at that point, it's like you might as well just invest the time in because it's a tool that you're going to be using. And especially if this is a church, y'all can write it off anyway. That's just how it is. So Chuck says he believes 16 hours is fair. Jamaica needs 24 hours. I got you. 16 hours seems fair because of the time difference. So we're bouncing between 60 and 24. To answer your question, can you do it in the free version? Yes, because I've been using the free version of DaVinci Resolve until I bought my Blackmagic camera that came with the full copy for free. I've been using DaVinci Resolve, the free version, for over 3 years. And yes, you can. 24. All right, so I think we got outnumbered. So we're going to pick the person, and they're going to have 24 hours to respond. And I will do a live stream that very next day to pick a new person if they don't. So that's going to be the rules for the AJay Mini giveaway. All right. What is the equivalent or better to an i7 for the Ryzen products? The Ryzen 5 would be the equivalent. Let's see. Billy, yeah, it is. Folks are awesome here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Otis, I really appreciate it. I'm happy about this as well too, because this is one of those things where we can help out a whole lot of folks with this one. So, and I lost my place here in my comments here. Oh, we caught up. So cool. And so I went a little bit over. So first off, because I got my stuff set up, I want to thank the patrons who we got. We've grown a bunch of patrons in a while. And they are here. So I want to thank them so much. A bunch of them are in the chat here. Anthony is there. Who else did we see in it? Jack Wolf was in here. Who else? We had a couple of people that were on here who are their Streets of Destiny as well too. I want to thank them so much. You too can become a patron at patreon.com/AJaytheCEO for as little as $1 a month. And once you become a patron, you automatically get entered twice in all of our giveaways, no matter what they are. We actually are going to be doing, at the $30 tier, we actually have a 1-hour consultation with me every month, as long as you maintain that. And we're looking to doing some more cool stuff. To let y'all know, I actually just been allowed to do memberships on YouTube. I haven't opened them up yet, but what I'm going to do is they're going to be considered something different than Patreon. But I will do another session like this for members when I decide to open that up, and the prices are significantly less for that. I think the highest one goes up to like $5 a month or something like that. But doing that, I will have a Q&A session for members only, and just have a lot of other plans to give back and things like that, because the way it's getting, a lot of y'all have been asking me to do traveling all international, and that's not free. So I don't try to nickel and dime y'all. Every dollar that comes in goes back to y'all in giveaways and things like that. So thankfully partnerships are coming, other companies, and then the funding from Patreon and all that other stuff is helping to do more for this channel to help media ministries all over the world. We're about halfway to our goal on Patreon. The goal is to get up to $600, I believe, in a month, and then we will buy a license for for Wirecast, so we can start the same thing that we're doing with vMix. We're going to be doing with Wirecast once we hit that. Again, thank y'all so much for everything. Let me jump back because we got some more comments that popped in here while I was here. Where do I leave off? Philippe Games is saying, doing a PC build for their church, do you prefer the Ryzen 5 or 7 for live streaming? Honestly, the 5, that's what I'm using right now, but I would go with the 7 if you want to use that system for a live streaming system too. If it's a dedicated one, the Ryzen 5 3600 is beyond what you need to handle your live stream. That's what I'm using right now, and right now it is using 6% CPU utilization with the Ryzen 5 3600 on my system right now. Hey, thank y'all so much. We got a lot of people. This is the first time. We do this every Friday as long as something is not in the pipe. I will be here next Friday. I'm going to be on the road heading to Maryland, doing a couple of installs there from Waldorf up to Annapolis. Then going to be back in my hometown Sunday to train in media ministry. Let's see, Charles, I just started live streaming with OBS at my church. Need a good way to control remotely while I play drums. Was thinking about the Stream Deck Mobile. Is it reliable? Yes, it is. Yes, it does. The mobile Stream Deck, I've used that when I play to control that, and it works good. Billy, thank you. Want to know, did the surgery go well? Yes, it did. It went so well. I remember sitting down at the oral surgeon. He was saying, we're going to prick you right here in the arm. I saw them put the mask over my face. Next thing I know, my brother-in-law is telling me to lift my leg up when I'm walking into the house. I don't remember anything, and that was awesome. Pain is gone. I guess it was these 2 teeth. They just took them both out. They were both my 2 back wisdom teeth, and I am pain-free. So thank you for asking. Thank y'all so much. If you haven't, I highly recommend y'all go ahead and join the Facebook group. It is awesome. This is, and I'm not saying that just because I started the group. It's awesome because it's this 24/7 with people all over the world with the same cause of, we don't care about your denomination. We're about trying to deliver the word, whatever it is. And that's why I feel the same way, just trying to help out wherever we can. And thank y'all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think that is about it. So again, be on the lookout for the Ada Imaging 30,000 subscriber giveaway that we're going to be doing. Like I said, we do a giveaway every time we reach new goals here, as my way of saying thank you to y'all for y'all support, because I couldn't have subscribed to myself 25,000 times. We're like 30 people away now from 26,000. We got some more videos that I got to re-record because my setup was messing up, and actually I'm going to be upgrading my system here. A new motherboard is coming in pretty soon, today actually. But I think that's about it. I think I blabbed enough, and thank y'all so much, folks. Yeah, I mean, first off, like I said before, if no one has ever told y'all, I really appreciate what you're doing, because sometimes what we do is like a thankless job. We have been holding it down from, if y'all started back from March till now because of this pandemic, or if you've been doing this live streaming thing ever since, and sometimes you don't get the thank you, sometimes you don't get paid for it. I just want to tell you, as best as I can. Thank you for what you're doing. And these giveaways are my way of trying to bless y'all or give you something in some way, shape, or form, because I'm in the battlefield just like y'all. And I wish the day is going to come where I have those sponsors just like Mr. Beast and all these other folks, where I have hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm looking forward to the day to where I say I have 1,000 of these, and the first 1,000 people I'm giving these away. I'm looking forward to those days. But anyway, thank y'all so much. Have a blessed day, evening, morning, night, wherever you are. If you're having service tomorrow or Sunday, I wish you good success with that stream. And my phone is blowing up, so obviously I've been on here too long and people are calling me. So talk to y'all later, folks. Love y'all. Later.